In today's video, we're talking all about continuous lighting for headshots and portraits on a budget. What's up everyone, Pete Coco here, and thank you for joining me as always. Now recently, my friends over at B&H Photo sent me some Genaray lights to review, and after using them in my studio and on location for a couple of months, I'm going to tell you what I like, what can be improved, and why I think that these lights are some of the greatest options for those of you who are looking to get into continuous lighting but don't want to break your budget. Genaray offers a huge variety of lights, including daylight and bicolor monolights, LED panels, Fresnel lights, and light wands. Now, I've been using the Porta-Bright daylight monolights, RGB Fresnel light, and the Twin Sun 1x2 light panels in my studio. So let's talk about the monolights first. The best part about these monolights is the price. At $165, they really are an incredible value. And they include a rechargeable battery, AC adapter, reflector, case, a simple yet intuitive LED interface which makes setting the lights super easy, and the ability to attach any Bowens mount modifiers. An optional remote control is available, and the lights can be grouped if you want to have multiple lights at different settings on your set. I use these monolights for a number of portrait shoots, including headshots where I use the iconic Peter Hurley triangle configuration. And for headshots, I added angular 10x24 strip boxes, and I was really pleased with the skin tones and the overall quality of the results and the light. I also used the Porta-Bright monolights as key lights, as fill lights in various portrait setups, and I really do love how simple they are, and I found them to be bright enough for most applications at my studio, including as a bare key light, a fill light in a variety of modifiers, and also using an optical spot to create pops of light on my subjects and backgrounds. Having the included battery is obviously a huge plus, and when I put these lights on my impact rolling stands, I really love the freedom I get rolling them around my studio without having to be tethered or worry about tripping over wires everywhere. Now, most importantly for me, I have found the quality of the light to be very good and very pleasing for my portrait work. And of course, when using continuous lights, you can see right away what the results are going to look like as you move the light around, which I love. I also use the Porta-Bright as my main light source for all my recent YouTube videos, including this one, fitted with a small aperture lantern as the modifier. And I've loved the results here as well, and the ease and simplicity of rolling the light around, as I mentioned, in my studio. The Porta-Brights, although dimmable from 0 to 100%, move in 10% increments, which I did not find ideal when using a bare light as a hard key light set close to my subject. In this case, I had to add a diffusion material, so I would love to see the next generation of these particular lights to be dimmable down to 1% and in 1% increments. And although I love having AC power and the battery included with the lights, I'm not a huge fan of the DMX style connectors. I find them to be a little bit clunky, and the connection to the back of the light can be a bit finicky to release at times. Outside of these small issues, I've really enjoyed the Porta-Bright monolights in my studio and using them with all of my existing modifiers. Next, let's talk about the Genaray LF RGB65 LED Fresnel light, because this thing is really awesome. At $699, it's jam-packed with features, including a 25 to 65 degree adjustable beam angle, Kelvin control from 2800 to 6500K, RGB control, which lets you dial in any color you want, barn doors, and it also has a DMX interface if you want to use it for studio or theater work. As a portrait photographer though, I really do love using Fresnel lights both as a key light and also to create effects where I use the barn doors to cut a hard edge of light either to my subject or on my background. When my good friend Dan Wynn, who's an amazing photographer located in Boston, visited a few months ago, he used the Genaray Fresnel not only to cut a hard edge across the background of my portrait, but also he warmed up the color using the built-in Kelvin control and really created some cool results. One of the best ways to use a Fresnel light is as a prop in your scene. And although the digital interface on the Genaray LED doesn't give it that classic look per se, I've been using it in the background of my recent YouTube videos, and I think it looks really cool. And I think it adds a lot to the overall look of my set. Now, the main downside to the Genaray Fresnel light is its weight. It's very heavy, so it's not something that I'm going to be taking on location anytime soon. But I didn't expect it to be light, and it's awesome in my studio, especially because I have it on an impact rolling stand, so it's easy to move around and to include in my portrait work. I really like it. Finally, let's talk about the Genaray Twin Sun 1x2 bicolor LED panels. Now, these panels, which retail for $6.99, dim from 10% to 100%. They have a large and easy to use LCD display, and they include 4-way barn doors with gel clips. They do also have an option to use a battery, but the battery is sold separately. The lights can be mounted either horizontally or vertical with the included arm, and they really are super bright. Now, first, I thought I could use these panels for a headshot setup, but the reality is they're just a little too heavy and bulky for that particular application. But for portrait work, where I want a large soft source as fill, for example, these lights do an incredible job. And they can be used to make a wall of soft light to lift the shadows in your portrait setting in case you want to do something like color grade, which is something that I do all the time in post. Now, they're also very robust, and they're definitely designed for professional use and possible abuse. For video, of course, these panels are really ideal. They can create pleasing soft light for your scene. So check out this short clip I made where I used 2 panels to create a very pleasing and easy to set up light for a simple video scene. Hey everyone, so I wanted to show you how easy it is to create pleasing, beautiful light using these Genaray light panels without a lot of fuss and muss. So all I did is took 2 panels, put them right next to each other, raised them up on C-stands so they're firing above my head, which means I'm being feathered by the edge of the light, which is a lot more pleasing. Now, this is a super simple way to create really nice light for your videos. The other thing I did is I added a V-flat, camera right, which is my left side, to block out the street light because I do have windows on that side of my studio, so I didn't want that light to interfere. And the scene looks great, and it's very easy to create this flattering light. The other thing I like about this is it makes it easy to eliminate glare since you don't have lights pointing right at you. So there's a lot of reasons why I like this kind of lighting. But just to demonstrate, this is one way you can use these panels to create awesome video work. As with the other Genaray lights, the light is really pleasing and it renders accurate skin tones. So setting all of these lights together at 5600K worked well, and they even work well with my other lights. Now, the main downside about these panels is that they're very heavy. So if you're a portrait photographer like me, again, you're probably not going to find yourself traveling with them and using them for a location shoot, for instance. But for a larger video production project, of course, they're going to throw out a ton of light, and they're going to do an awesome job for you. Now, I also want to take a moment to mention the impact rolling stands that I've been using in conjunction with these lights. In the past, I have been disappointed in some of the impact light stands that I've purchased, but these heavy-duty rolling stands are really excellent. The folding wheelbase stand is robust enough for larger modifiers, but compact enough to be able to put in my car and take with me on location. And that's exactly what I've been doing with them. I've been lugging these to and from photo shoots for 2 months now, and they've been in and out of my car, open and close, all over the place, and they've really become my favorite stands. Now, outside of needing a C-stand for something very large, these have been my go-to stands for most applications. For the Fresnel lens, I have the Impact Steel Roller Stand 2, which is a bit larger and looks more stylish than the black rolling base stands. And again, it's really well made. And I like how simple and easy the locks work to break because you can simply press it on and off without fussing with it. It's super simple to use. Overall, I'm really happy with the Genaray lights, and I've been using them pretty extensively around my studio and on location. I've mixed them with other lights, including panels from my Westcott Flex kit and also my Nan lights, and I found them to work seamlessly with these other lights and be a great addition to my kit. Now, the biggest limitation to the mono lights, which I've used the most, is, as I mentioned, that they can't be dimmed down to 1%. And I would also like the overall brightness of the mono lights to be greater at the high end. But keep in mind that there are other mono lights in their lineup and bicolor lights as well, so I have the base model that I tested. To conclude, the Genaray lights really are an excellent value, and if they continue to refine these products, I think we're going to see more and more photographers choosing to use them as their main brand for their go-to kits. And once again, I'd like to thank my friends over at B&H Photo in New York for sending me these lights to review. Bear in mind that they're not seeing this review until you do, so they had no impact on anything that I've said today. And if you do like these lights and you want to try them out, do me a favor and just use my link in the description below. That will take you right to B&H. As always, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you use Genaray lights? Have you tried them? Are you happy with them? Also, are you a portrait photographer using continuous light? Or do you prefer flash? Let me know. Let me know why. So here's wishing you an amazing day. Go out and take some awesome pictures, and I'm going to see you in the next one real soon. Peace.